Something is shifting. And if you're a creator or you work with creators, you can feel it. Creators are starting to ask different questions now. Not what can my reach monetize, but what can my reach build? Because the bar is rising from creator brand deals to creator-led enterprises. Creators are evolving into operators. Channels are evolving into companies. And IP, real IP, is the asset class that separates the hobbyists from the institutions. So today, we're not doing a trend report, we're doing a map, because we're living through a pivotal moment in the creator economy. And if you understand it, you can not just ride it, but thrive in it. If you don't, you'll get stuck chasing algorithms, chasing deals, chasing momentum that will never turn into something real. Welcome to the creator operator era.
Start talking and really take STARTA.
Welcome to another episode of STARTA, Stop Talking and Really Take Action. I'm your host, Jordan Taylor. Welcome. Today's show is going to be about building the machine behind the magic. Systems, strategy, leverage, the stuff that turns creative energy into something that scales. All right, let's get into it. The creator economy isn't emerging anymore. It's maturing into a real industry, not a subculture, not a trend, not a side quest, an actual industry. And let's talk about the difference. It's pretty simple. Industries have budgets, like the creator economy does. Industry has infrastructure. I'm totally going to geek out about this. The creator economy has this too. Industries have consolidations, standards. And now when something becomes an industry, right, the people who win aren't just the most talented. They're the ones who build the best operating system. Personally, for me, this is the thing that I use to build any and everything that I'm working on, having, whether it's a template, a project, a standard operating procedure, if you will, having some type of framework that I iterate and build over time. These are the things that are going to help us build something that lasts and stands the test of time. So here's what's kind of wild. Brands are no longer just treating creators like a nice add-on. They're treating them like an actual channel, not just a tactic inside of social media, but a full-blown channel. And when I say channel, I mean a distribution channel, right? Getting the product or service or getting the brand, getting the stories out there. Now, what does this mean? This means that there is real money moving around, recurring money, serious money. And when recurring money shows up, it changes the game, because suddenly creators aren't just influencers, they're distribution, their trust, their outcomes. Okay, so here's a second signal, and this one matters even more. Creators were being forced to grow up, not because we necessarily want to, maybe not, but because the ecosystem demands it of us. So brands want predictability, audiences want quality, platforms want consistency, and creators, we want sustainability, longevity. We want to be able to last beyond whatever trend or topic that we're focusing on any given week. And that pressure is either going to break creators or upgrade them. And we're watching this upgrade happen in real time. Creators are beyond just posting. There's funnel building, there's offer building, there's product building, there's the actual full-blown media company building happening within each individual creator operation. And as a result, the creator economy is shifting from content as output to content as infrastructure. So that's the signal scan. The market just turned institutional. And when that happens, the question becomes, are you building content or are you building a company? Okay, now we've got to talk about the uncomfortable part, because the shift isn't happening equally. There's a sort of great sorting that's happening across the creator economy, and the middle is getting squeezed, as is often the case. We've heard this in the middle class being squeezed out. Well, the same thing is happening within the creator economy. So what do I mean by this? Well, the top creators are pulling away. They're going to build something bigger and better and beyond some of our comprehension. The brands go where the scale is. The platforms are going to reward what's already working. And a lot of creators are stuck in this loop. Post, spike, dip, post, spike, dip, post, spike, dip, post, spike, dip. Momentum that never really becomes stability. And that's where things start to get a little bit dicey, or we'll say they get real, right? A lot of creators don't actually have an income problem, they have a business problem, because inconsistent revenue isn't just stressful, it's operationally deadly, right? We've heard people say this in the past. If you can lose 50% of your revenue based on an algorithm change or a shift in something that is outside of your control, right? Usually via way of a platform changing something about the way they operate. You don't actually own a business. You are renting space on someone else's platform. We've seen people say this, right? And again, if we're thinking about that inconsistent revenue, right? You won't be able to operate your business properly because you can't hire help, you can't plan, you can't invest, and you can't breathe in a sense. And even when that money is coming in, right? It's often delayed. If you're a creator listening right now, you know about net 60, net 90. I don't even want to think about if there's like a net 120. But what that leads to is creators having to do everything themselves. And that's where the burnout comes in. Not because creators aren't disciplined, although some of us may struggle with that. That's okay. This is a safe space. But because creators are building a life on top of a foundation that keeps moving. This is the moment where being a creator splits into two paths. Path one, you keep chasing that attention, chasing that algorithm, running on that hamster wheel. Path two, you start building assets. And the creators who survive this era, the creators who become unstoppable in this area, are the ones who stop thinking like artists waiting to be discovered and start thinking like operators building an institution. And I know institution can sound a little bit corporate-y and a little bit big system, but creators who want longevity, who want something that's going to last, there's benefits to thinking about it in this way and then building the institution that you do want to be a part of, that you do want to lead, that you do want to spearhead, because attention is rented. Ownership, on the other hand, compounds. And going back to that great sorting idea I mentioned earlier, there's a simple way to think about it. If your content makes you money, but it can't make you free, you're not building a business. You're building a job. So the question is, what are you building beneath your content? What exists underneath the algorithm? Because when the algorithm changes, and it will, only one thing survives: systems. Okay, so let me make this a bit more personal for a second, because I didn't learn all of this from books, articles, although I do read those. I've learned a lot of this the hard way. I've spent a lot of time, like years, building at the intersection of strategy and execution. First as a creative, spending a lot of time video editing, YouTube videos, podcasts, music, you name it. Then as a COO of a company. And this is not a company that I founded. This is a company that I was brought into, first on the content side, and then into the operations and strategy side. And I've learned in that journey that the magic doesn't happen from choosing one of those sides. It's from bridging both. I recently got married last year and then went on honeymoon and took some time away from the business I was helping to run. And a big part of that was being present. And in order to do that, there needed to be a machine that ran without me, because the machine should run without you. The systems you create should multiply the impact. The legacy you leave should outlive your life. For years, I was the creative guy, taking things frame by frame, beat by beat, late nights, doing mixtapes in college, and then moving into video editing and Final Cut Pro. Then I got into production and then bigger clients. If there was a new tool, I tested it. If there was a cool concept, I'd already be trying to sketch it into life. If there was a new project, I'd be like, yes, absolutely, let's get on it. And then that's when I moved into operations. And the hardest part about going from strictly a creative to being a COO was learning when not to create. Because for me, my creative instinct was my superpower, but then it became my kryptonite. My instinct was always, yep, I can do that. I can build that. I can put it together. And then really stepping into this ops career, it taught me something that not a lot of people tell you. If you create everything, you kind of end up diluting everything. So the shift happened when I stopped just creating content and I started creating constraints. Now, creating with constraints can sound like you're killing the creativity, but that's not what I mean. What I mean by that is one clear process instead of 10 experimental workflows. And it takes time to get there. Then you get into one decision framework instead of just endless brainstorms. But again, you need to iterate in order to get there. And then one strategic no that protects 100 yeses. And again, I'm talking when you're creating at a point where you're trying to build a business that's bigger than yourself. When you're trying to create a company, an institution, an actual operation that lasts beyond your creative whims. And the irony is when you stop creating everything, you actually create space for the right things to flourish. So here's the blueprint. If you want to win in the creator economy, you need 4 layers. Layer 1 is reach. So that's attention, views, audience, distribution. Layer 2 is revenue. That's offers, products, services, conversions. Layer 3 is repeatability. This is where creators truly become companies. Systems, cadence, templates, team, automation. And layer 4, residual assets. This is the real game here. IP, owned audience, product equity, media leverage. And the reality is that most creators don't get past layer 2, that revenue phase. Again, they get reach, they get money, but they never build repeatability and they never build those residual assets. So they stay trapped in output. Now, here are 3 practical operator moves you can make this month. Move number 1, build your owned audience. That could be email, that could be phone, that could be community, something you control because followers are rented, owned records are property. Move number 2, create one flagship IP format, not random posts, a repeatable format. A template, if you will. That could be a series, a show, a framework, a universe, right? Think of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is IP. Something your audience can recognize in 1 second. Move number 3, install one revenue ladder. One entry offer, one core offer, one premium offer. That's the ladder, the rungs. And build the ladder so that you're not reinventing your income every month. This is what content becomes IP actually means. Your ideas become repeatable, your values become transferable, and your output becomes an asset. And when your output becomes an asset, you stop becoming a creator hoping for deals, and you become a business attracting partnerships, which leads us to the next segment because brands are catching up fast. And if you're a brand or you hire creators, this next part matters. Okay, if you work at a brand right now, listen up. Here's the truth. Creators are not an ad unit anymore. They're not a post. They're not content. They're not the line item you plug into a launch. There's so much more than that. Creators are strategic partners. Creators are an entity in and of themselves. Creators aren't just selling attention. They are selling trust. A quick practical example on this. If you have someone with 500,000 followers, ton of attention, but those followers are passive, not that impactful. If you have a creator with 10,000 followers, but a huge amount of trust within those 10,000 followers, the level of trust there is going to be unmatched. And trust is the hardest thing to buy in the modern world. So if your strategy is still, let's find a creator, let's run a campaign and move on, keep it pushing, you're playing the old game. The new game is partnership, the ambassador era, the operator era. Creators are building companies now, which means when you hire them, you're not hiring an influencer, you're partnering with a business. And businesses don't want one-off gigs. They want compounding outcomes. So here are 3 moves that brands should make right now if you want creators that actually move the needle. Move number 1, stop buying posts, start buying outcomes. Pick a goal, pick a metric, pick a window, and build a creator partnership around results. Move number 2, build longer relationships. Not because it's nice, because it works. Consistency beats novelty. A creator can't become a meaningful distribution channel for you if you treat them like a 1-week rental. A creator business shouldn't feel like an Airbnb. They should feel like a proper home. Move number 3, pay like you respect the ecosystem. Fast pay wins, clean contracts win, and clear expectations win. If creators are becoming operators, brands have to become partners. And here's the biggest mindset shift for brands. If you treat creators like placements, you'll churn them. But if you treat them like operators, you'll compound. Because what you're really doing is this. You're not buying attention. You're building a distribution relationship. And in 2026, distribution is everything. So whether you're a creator yourself or you work for a brand that hires creators, the message is the same. Stop chasing the algorithm. Start building the machine beneath it. Okay, so now here's where the episode's going to get a little bit fun and interesting. I've not really seen too much of this out there in the world, but I'm excited to bring this to you because I haven't seen it before. So if the creator economy is real, and I believe that it is, and if we're focused on building the machine beneath the creator economy, if we're focused on building the machine beneath the creator, then we should want to hear the machine's take on what they're seeing, right? So for this next segment, I'm going to bring in a little bit of an unconventional guest, not a founder, not a creator, not an investor, but an AI, specifically Stanley, the creator-focused AI from Stan. And here's why I wanted Stanley on this episode. Stanley is sitting in the middle of thousands of creators and their real questions, not the questions creators ask on stage, the questions they randomly think of at 2 a.m. I think we've all been there. The questions that reveal where the market is going. So I'm going to just put Stanley in the hot seat today. And then after each answer from him, I'm going to translate that into a real operator move you can make. All right, Stanley, welcome to STARTA. Let's talk about what creators need next. So first question, what's the biggest mistake creators are going to make in 2026?
The biggest mistake is chasing audience size while ignoring audience depth. We're entering an era of algorithmic saturation. Every platform is flooded. Reach is getting cheaper, but trust is getting rarer. Creators who optimize for impressions will find themselves with massive followings and empty bank accounts because they built an audience that watches, not one that buys. The algorithm rewards entertainment, but enterprise rewards transformation. So here's the playbook. Step 1. Audit your audience's intent. Ask yourself, are they here to be entertained or to solve a problem? If you can't answer, survey them directly. Step 2. Create one conversion-focused asset. A newsletter, a waitlist, a community. Something that pulls your best people off platform where you own the relationship. Step 3. Track depth metrics weekly. Replies, DMs, saves, email open rates. These matter more than likes in 2026. Here's a real example. Look at Sahil Bloom. He could chase viral threads all day. Instead, he built a newsletter with hundreds of thousands of subscribers and launched a venture fund. Same audience size as many bigger creators, 10 times the enterprise value. Depth over reach. That's the game now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like creators are going to keep optimizing for attention when the game is shifting to asset creation. So again, as promised, here's the operator translation, right? Stop thinking, what can I post? Start thinking, what can I build that survives my posting? Because attention is rented. Again, assets actually compound. Okay, so Stanley, second question. What systems separate creators who scale versus creators who burn out?
Creators who scale build systems that separate creation from production from distribution. Most creators are doing all 3 jobs simultaneously, coming up with ideas, making the content, and posting it everywhere. That's not a creative career. That's a treadmill. The ones who scale treat content like a supply chain. They batch, they delegate, they automate. The ones who burn out treat every post like a handmade artisan product. Here's how to fix it. Step 1. Time block creation separately. Ideation and writing happen in one protected block. No editing, no posting, no Slack. Just thinking. Step 2. Build a production buffer. Always have 2 to 3 pieces of content scheduled ahead. This removes the panic of, I need to post today, and lets you create from abundance, not anxiety. Step 3. Automate or delegate distribution. Use scheduling tools. Hire a VA for repurposing. Your job is to create, not to manually post across 6 platforms. Ali Abdaal talked openly about this. When he was doing everything himself, he was burning out despite millions of subscribers. Once he built a team and systematized production, his output actually increased while his stress decreased. The system is the product. The content is just the output.
And that part right there is like low-key the whole episode. Because a creator who scales isn't just creating more, they're repeating better. They're not producing content, they're producing outcomes. So again, here's your operator translation. Build a weekly production cadence you can actually sustain. Not a burst, a machine that runs when motivation disappears. Okay, so Stanley, question number 3. Let's say a creator has 10,000 followers and they want to build a real business. What should they build first?
Build an email list with a single, specific lead magnet before anything else. At 10,000 followers, you have attention but no leverage. Social followers are rented. Email subscribers are owned. And here's the math that matters. A 10,000-person email list with 40% open rates will outperform 100,000 social following every single time. For sales, for launches, for partnerships. Email is the bridge between creator and operator. The playbook is simple. Step 1. Identify your audience's most painful problem. Not the broad topic you cover, the specific, urgent thing that keeps them up at night. Step 2. Create a lead magnet that solves it in under 10 minutes. A checklist, a template, a swipe file. Not a course, not an ebook. Something they can use today. Step 3. Promote it in every piece of content for 30 days straight. Pin it. Link it. Mention it. Be relentless. Most creators fail here because they're embarrassed to repeat themselves. Don't be. When Jay Klaus was at roughly 10,000 followers, he didn't launch a course or a community. He built his email list with a simple, focused lead magnet. That list became the foundation for creator science, his membership, his sponsorships, everything. The email list is the asset. Everything else is built on top of it.
Honestly, so perfect, because I think this is where a lot of creators get it backwards. They build the offers too late. They build systems too late. They build owned audience too late. So again, back to that operator translation, build one offer, one funnel, one owned audience capture point. Not 100 ideas, one single pipeline. Because pipelines are going to be what create your freedom. So, Stanley, we're going to get into question 4 here. What's the future of brand deals in 2026? Is it flat fees, affiliate, equity, revenue share? What are your thoughts here?
3 shifts will reshape the creator economy by late 2027. Prediction 1. The rise of the creator-operator role. We're seeing a new hybrid emerge. People who aren't just making content but running businesses on top of content. They have teams, systems, revenue diversification. The solo creator grinding out posts will become the exception, not the norm. Expect to see more creators hiring COOs, more creator studios, and more roll-ups where operators acquire or partner with multiple creators. Prediction 2. Email and community will outperform social for monetization. Social reach is getting noisier and less reliable. Creators who've built owned audiences, email lists, private communities, SMS lists, will monetize at 3 to 5 times the rate of those who haven't. The smart money is moving off-platform. Brands will start asking, "What's your list size?" before they ask, "What's your follower count?" Prediction 3. AI will split creators into 2 camps. Those who use it to scale and those it replaces. AI can now write, edit, repurpose, and distribute content. Creators who learn to use AI as leverage will produce more, faster, with less burnout. Creators who compete with AI on volume, without a unique voice or perspective, will get commoditized. The winners will be the ones who use AI for production, but stay irreplaceably human in their ideas. So here's how to prepare for all 3. Step 1. Build your operator muscle now. Learn basic business ops, finance, hiring, systems, or partner with someone who has them. Step 2. Prioritize owned channels this year. Set a goal. Grow your email list by 50% in the next 6 months. Treat it like your primary platform. Step 3. Adopt AI as a tool, not a threat. Use it for first drafts, repurposing, research. Keep your voice and perspective as the thing AI can't replicate. Look at what's happening with Morning Brew, The Hustle, and creator-led media companies. They started as newsletters, built owned audiences, and now they're platforms. That's the blueprint. The creators who see this coming are already building. The ones who don't will wonder what happened.
That part. It's true, because I think as we enter that hybrid area, and the operators are going to love this, because operators don't just want cash, they want upside. Stop signing deals that end your story the moment the post goes live. Start signing deals that create compounding value. Flat fee plus performance plus long-term partnership. Those are the deals that you want, because creators are becoming businesses, and businesses don't do one-off gigs. They do relationships. All right, Stanley. So moving on to question 5 here. What creator business models win, even if algorithms change?
Productized expertise, turning what you know into something people buy once and you deliver repeatedly. Algorithms change. Sponsorship rates fluctuate. Ad revenue is unpredictable. But if you have a product, a course, a template, a software tool, a paid community, you have something that compounds. Every piece of content becomes a funnel to something you own. You're not renting your income from platforms anymore. You're building equity. Here's how to do it. Step 1. Document your secret sauce. What do people always ask you about? What do you do differently than others in your space? That's your product. Step 2. Start with the smallest viable version. Not a 40-hour course, a single workshop, a template pack, a 30-day cohort. Validate before you build big. Step 3. Create content that demonstrates the product in action. Every post should subtly prove that your method works. The content is the proof. The product is the payoff. Tiago Forte built Building a Second Brain as a cohort course while he was still a relatively small creator. That one productized system became a book, a certification program, a multi-million-dollar business. The algorithm didn't build that. The product did. Expertise that's packaged is expertise that scales.
Couldn't agree more. And that right there is the foundation, right? Because algorithm proof businesses are built on 2 things: owned audience and owned IP. So again, here's your operated translation. Your job in 2026 is not to become viral. Your job is to become inevitable. Think Thanos with the snap, right? And inevitability comes from repeatable distribution and repeatable value. And Stanley, last question for you here. What should brands do differently if they want to hire creators who actually drive results?
Stop hiring for reach. Start hiring for resonance. Brands have been buying impressions from creators like they're buying billboard space. But creator content doesn't work like billboards. It works like word of mouth. The question isn't how many people will see this. It's how much does this audience trust this person's recommendation? A creator with 20,000 highly engaged followers in your exact niche will outperform a creator with 500,000 passive followers every time. Here's the playbook for brands. Step 1. Evaluate engagement quality, not quantity. Read the comments. Are people asking questions? Tagging friends? Saying, I needed this? That's resonance. Step 2. Look for creators who already use or talk about your category. Authenticity isn't a nice to have. It's the whole game. Forced partnerships feel forced. Audiences know. Step 3. Structure deals around outcomes, not deliverables. Pay for conversions, signups, or sales, not just posts. This aligns incentives and filters for creators who actually drive action. When Athletic Greens partners with creators, they don't just pick the biggest names. They pick creators whose audiences care about health and optimization, and they measure by conversions, not impressions. That's why you see the same creators promoting AG1 for years. It works because the fit is real.
Exactly. Honestly, couldn't have said it better myself. Brands need to stop hiring creators like freelancers and start partnering with them like operators. Operator translation again. Brands, here's your move. Build creator partnerships around outcomes and long-term trust. Creators are not ad placements, they're distribution partners. And distribution is the leverage point right now. All right, Stanley, that was a masterclass. And here's what I'll say. When AI starts speaking in systems, you know the era has changed. Because even the machine is telling you the winner isn't the loudest creator. It's the creator with the strongest operating system. Okay, now before we close, I want to give you something practical because prophecy is cool, but STARTA is about action. So the theme is simple. Build a team without building payroll. Because the advantage right now isn't just being creative, it's about having leverage. So if you're a creator trying to operate like a company, Here's a simple stack. Tool number one, you need an idea to output engine, something that turns your raw thoughts into publish-ready assets, your scripts, your hooks, your outlines. My personal recommendation for this, specifically if you're targeting LinkedIn, would be Stanley. I've had really tremendous success using Stanley for the last 6 to 8 months or so. Whether you use ChatGPT, Gemini, Stanley, whoever, use something that gets the ideas out of your head into something that's really going to resonate with your audience. You will have to do some work to massage it to get it in the way that it needs to be put out. But once you get it to that point, you'll be able to use that engine to supercharge the brain to content track. Tool number two is a repurposing engine, something that takes your long form pieces and turns it into shorts, captions, carousels, threads, whatever you want, right? Some ideas for this would be Opus Clip, Descript. These are great tools. I've used Descript most often, and it's been a game changer. It's so simple to take what you want and use its capabilities to pump out multiple iterations in bite-sized form. Tool number three is going to be a home base. So somewhere where your business lives, offers, workflows, templates, pipeline. You can use something like Monday.com, Asana, ClickUp, Notion. Notion is great. I'm just starting to get into Notion, but I personally love Monday.com, Asana. Even if you just keep everything in your Google Drive, so long as you have it in a way where everything is clearly laid out how your business runs, that's the goal here. And tool number four is owned audience capture. So email list, SMS list, some type of community. Because again, followers are rented, owned audience is property. This is where it's going to make such a big difference in everything that you're doing. Because again, a platform could go down virtually almost overnight. And if you don't own your audience, at least a record of your audience, then you're at severe risk of losing the foundation of your biggest distribution channel. And if you don't have distribution, you don't have a connection to your audience, to your customer base. Now, to put this all into perspective, the reason all of this matters is simple, because in the old creator economy, you needed a team to scale. In the new creator economy, you need a system to scale. This is not anti-human, this is not anti-team, but your team can consist of a mix of humans, including yourself, and also tools, workflows, so on and so forth. Because with the right tools and the right workflows, one person can produce like 5, and 5 people can produce like 50. Again, this is not about getting rid of people on your team. This is about empowering everybody on the team to produce more effectively and more efficiently so you can truly grow wide. So don't just add more effort, add more power, add more capability, add more leverage. Okay, let's close up this episode properly, shall we? If you only take one thing from this episode, let it be this. Okay, the creator economy is no longer rewarding creators who simply create. It's rewarding creators who operate. Okay, so here's the stop talking and really take action sprint. 7 days, 1 upgrade, operator mode. Day 1, build your IP vault. Write down 10 things you can teach, repeat, or package. Frameworks, formats, POVs, systems, stories. Day 2, choose 1 flagship model, 1 repeatable series, 1 show concept, 1 thing your audience can recognize instantly. Day 3, build 1 offer. This could be an entry offer or a single product or a single service, but the key here is 1, not 5. I struggle with this, but we're going to try. Day 4, build 1 funnel. How does someone go from viewer to buyer? Keep it simple, 1 link, 1 path. Day 5, install your weekly cadence. What do you ship weekly? What do you ship monthly? Make it realistic. Make it repeatable. Day 6 is going to be delegate 1 task. Edit, design, scheduling, research. It's important to point out here, you're not capable. You're building a machine that doesn't require your constant presence. Again, I'll take it back to the example for me. I went away on my wedding and my honeymoon, and the business I was working on continued to grow because the systems I put in place were still there even while I'm away. And if everybody understands the system, everybody can keep the system moving and everything keeps moving in general. And finally, day 7, ship one asset that outlives you. And I don't mean necessarily literally lives longer than you, but lives outside of you, okay? That could be a lead magnet, a template, a mini course, a signature framework, something that works while you sleep, while you're away, while you're sick, whatever. And if you're a brand listening, here's your version of the sprint. Stop buying posts. Start building partnerships. Pick creators who think in outcomes. Pick creators who care about repeatability. Pick creators who want to build with you, not just promote for you. Because the future of this ecosystem is creator-led enterprise. Creators are starting to ask, what can their reach build? Not just what can it monetize. So don't just post, don't just grow, don't just monetize. Build systems, build IP, build assets, build leverage, build a machine that runs without you. Not because you won't be involved, you'll be heavily involved, but because you're human and you're building something bigger than yourself. You're really, truly building a business. Because in the creator operator era, the legacy you leave should be bigger than just you. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of STARTA. Stop talking, really take action. Again, I have been your host, Jordan Taylor. And if this episode hit, send it to a creator and a brand operator, because the shift is happening with or without us. The only question is, are you watching it or are you building within it? Thanks again. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.